step. Matty C. Matthew. I'm like, who is that guy? I can't read. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm checking in with 3 different platforms right now. We have YouTube, we have Facebook, and we have Instagram. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm gonna wave just with my hand, not the little buttons. So it's Bill from Improvanopolis. We were gonna go live tonight, and I just wanted to say, wow, what a time. We are in a time where things are constantly changing. Governments are constantly changing the rules. You're wondering, do I go out? Do I not go out? And I think these are real questions. So last week we had decided, heck, we've got a platform. We've got these awesome tools at our disposal. We could do a live stream show and we'll put it up. Then there's rules of, in Singapore, you should be a meter apart. So then we started to wonder, are we flaunting? Are we flaunting this thing? Are we trying to do more? And as a producer, director, I want to create. And I'm sure many of you are feeling that way. Like right now, it's like, I want to create something. I just want to create. We're artists. We want to create things. We want to put it out there. And yesterday, I made a tough decision. I was talking to my team. We have a WhatsApp group, and I messaged everybody, and I just said, how is everyone feeling? Because I had to take a step back and think, am I pushing people into trying to do a show? And how are we going to do it? I had ideas of, I'll put tape down on the ground and we won't be a meter apart. But there's so many questions, so many fears. And so I decided, let's not do it. Let's not do the full show. So April Fools, sorry. If you were expecting my full team, which is myself, Pavan, Irene, Tia, Erwin, and Andrew, they're not going to be here, save for one, because I had an idea a long time ago that I wanted to do kind of a get to know the team, maybe kind of a bit of a Q&A to get to know somebody and get to know my team, because they all have very varied backgrounds from different parts of the world. And it's exciting to me to be able to perform with people who grew up with different backgrounds. I think that that's one of the best things I've seen here, and one of the things I've learned so much is like improvising with somebody from a different culture, improvising with someone from a completely different style. I grew up on a farm in South Dakota, so I don't know if anyone. I hope some people from South Dakota are tuning in. It's pretty early, but we are folk that get up early in the morning. When I was a kid, we used to get up and milk cow. I remember we would get up and milk cows with my uncle on the weekends, not school day, but with my uncle. My dad would wake us up early, like 5. I typically wake up on my own very early in the morning, and I do believe it comes from that farm background. But then we have people from New Zealand, we have people from Singapore, we have people from Malaysia, we had a guy from Australia, we've had people from England on the team. And that's one of the beautiful things about Improvanopolis. It's a team that's kind of the world. It's kind of stretches now around the world. I think I counted how many time zones I know just of people who are in Improvanopolis. They are Melbourne, Sydney, Singapore, London, New York, LA, and in between. So it's pretty cool. I'm super excited. So tonight what we were going to do is my sister and I were talking. My sister's in South Dakota. I hope you're there. I hope the kids are there. They've been talking to me about, you should do some improv games, teaching some games to people so that they can, while people are stuck at home, people are creating. My niece and nephew, they showed me a board game that they created. Who's there? There's so many people. Hi, guys. They showed me a board game that they created because of this show they watched. He gave them the kind of prompt, as an artist, and he said, you guys should make your own board game. And so she thought, Billy, you should do some improv games and show us so that we're stuck at home all day long. Maybe we could make up part of the day could be a little bit of improv scenes. Part of the day could be art, whatever. So that's what we're going to do today. But the first game I wanted to introduce, I need my friend here. So guys, I would like to welcome Pav J. Singh.
Hey!
Hey! So Pavan, I need to say I need to brag on Pavan. So Pavan let me get into this.
Oh, yeah.
So Pavan came on board. So I moved to Singapore back in 2009. And the park didn't open until 2010, but very early on, we're all these performers not stuck, but we're all thrust together from around the world in Singapore. And the park didn't open for close to 6 months.
Yeah, 5 months, 6 months late, yeah. 5
to 6, depending on when you came on board, it was like 5 to 6 months after we started. So people were going stir crazy. And at some point, I think I said, hey guys, I know I had an improv group in LA, and I said, I would love to lead some games. So Pavan was one of the first to be like, I'm in.
Yep,
and he jumped on board, and we were just joking. Because I swear I have pictures from some of the absolute first improv in Singapore pictures of him wearing a Batman shirt.
It was probably this shirt, which therefore implies that this shirt is almost 10 years old.
And
I have no issues with that. It's a great shirt. I love Batman.
That's awesome. So Pav,
this is from Michael Keaton's Batman, by the way, one of the best.
And I think that might have been it.
Yeah,
that's so awesome. So Pav has been on board for quite a while, and we started a group. We started to just rehearse once a week, every Monday. And I'm kind of giving you the story here of Improvanopolis because I think it's a story that can be told because it's been really fun. And if anyone actually ever has any questions about starting an improv group somewhere, just feel free, message us at Improvanopolis. We'd love to help. So we started doing every Monday.
Yeah.
Every single Monday from, I think it was 7 to 10 or 8 to 11, they opened up a space at Universal Studios, and we all met there. Sometimes it was 5 people, sometimes it was 30. And it would whoever showed up, we would play games for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the start of Improvanopolis in Singapore. And then at some point, I kept saying, gosh, you guys are getting so good. We need to do a show in Singapore.
Yeah.
Is there any improv in Singapore? Is anyone doing anything like this in Singapore? And luckily, I had an opportunity to do Shakespeare in the Park with SRT in Fort Canning. And I met the group there. And then because I became friendly with them, I approached them and said, hey, we'd like to do a show. How would we go about getting the space? And so we rented the space, and we did, I think it was 7 or 8 shows. It was 6 shows, and I think we tacked 2 more on.
Yeah, I think we did 7 shows.
In total?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we did like 5 shows, and then we tacked on an extra 2 because it kind of,
snowballed.
It did. Our last show, people were telling people, and I think on our last show, we had 168 people. And if you kind of know improv in Singapore now, you'd be like, wow, you guys had 168 people? This was when Facebook was the only way to you would do Facebook, it wasn't even Facebook ads, you would put a Facebook event.
Post, yeah.
Yeah, you'd put a Facebook event, and then people would share it. And now I feel like it's like, there's so much going on here.
Yeah.
The community has definitely changed.
Yeah. Shall we sit down, have a drink, and talk about this, Bill?
Sure. Yes. Yeah. So
can I just point out to everybody that first and foremost, we are, although we may not have done it 2 seconds ago, we are practicing safe social distancing. We've got like a minute. And before we started this, we got all our cleaning products. We sprayed the crap out of this place. We've been sanitizing. In fact, for our future shows, Bill got me to go out and buy one of the temperature checks, and then everything got cancelled. But we'll use it. We'll use it at some point. We're going to be safe. More important, stay safe.
Absolutely, as it is.
So, Bill, tell us about those early days of Improvanopolis.
So early on with Improvanopolis, I'll say, so my intro to improv came, I did a course in Orange County with a guy named Greg Atkins.
Yeah.
And Greg was a local improviser. I think he'd worked for Disney. A really fun guy, really good guy, solid class. And from that class, I came out of it and I met a friend, a guy named John McDonald, who became a friend. He's still a friend. And we keep in touch. But what we started doing was improv parties. So we started to do these little improv parties at night where we'd get together one time. Actually, funny story. We're doing an improv party one night. And we were doing these little scenes in the living room. And all of a sudden there's a knock at the door and it's the police. So the police showed up at the door and said that somebody had complained they thought somebody was being killed.
Oh,
because we were
doing
doing an improv scene, and I don't know if what was happening in the scene, if somebody sounded like they were being like there was like some screaming or something, but two of LA's or Orange County's finest showed up and they just said they did a double check. Okay, well, you should tell your neighbors that you're doing a party. So I think from then on, we always told people's neighbors we're doing an improv party. If you hear any weird noises, don't worry. So that was kind of the beginning, and then I moved to LA, and I auditioned for a company. There was a free place to do improv called the Peruvians. And this guy was doing an audition for a new improv troupe. And I think they auditioned us and took like 9 of us. And we called ourselves, We Blame You.
We Blame You.
We Blame You. That was our initial team. And then from that team, it was myself, there was a woman named Rhoda, there was a guy named Byron, and there were a couple of other people that were quite funny, but just because it's kind of a dynamic field there and a lot of people are doing things, everybody's kind of coming and going. Rhoda, myself, Byron, we said, hey, I like what you do. You crack me up.
Yeah.
Why don't we join in? Why don't we join together and create our own team? So it was kind of this bigger team of 9, and there were a lot of people on it, and they were nice, but some of them, you just didn't mesh with. And one of the things I always say with improv, it's kind of like a band. Mm. And if you with a band, the drummer might not get along with the lead singer, and it just something about it. They could be a great drummer, but they might not just click with it. So Rhoda, Byron, and myself did a show, or we got together, and then Rhoda brought somebody that she knew. Byron brought somebody maybe 2 people he knew. So then it became David, me, Byron, Rhoda, and a girl named, I knew her name earlier today. I'm gonna blank on it right now. Well, anywho, another gal. So it was 2
We're gonna
girls.
say Karen.
We'll call her Karen.
Okay.
I'll think of it. So 2 girls, and then it was 4 guys, and that was the original Improvanopolis, which is kind of funny because our current team has 2 girls and 4 guys naturally.
Oh yeah.
And then the new team, we just auditioned a new round. If you include me in that round, it's 2 girls and 4 guys. It's like maybe it's a theme. I don't know.
Something magical. 4, 2. Oh, I wonder what that.
4, 2.
I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's
nothing.
Probably a football formation.
Probably in American football. So I remember having rehearsals in my living room, and it was all of us, and we came up with the name. I'm gonna probably to the day we die, I'm gonna say that I came up with the name Improvanopolis. I like it. Maybe somebody else lays claims to it, but I stuck with it in the sense, to me, what it means is improv, so improvisation in metropolis. it's a center for improv. A metropolis is like a center. It's a where things are happening. Improv is to make things up on the spot. So Improvanopolis is it's like metropolis. It's like what other to me it's like a center for improv. That was what Improvanopolis was.
So tell us about the early days. The early days of improv. You were talking about the venue, the first venue you had, which was just something about the bathroom.
Oh, so
I love the story.
So the Peruvians Theater was above a liquor store in this strip, kind of a small strip mall near in Hollywood, and it was kind of between Sunset and I kind of forget. It's been a while since I've been there, but it was it wasn't far from Hollywood, but it was kind of open all the time, and the guy rented it out to a lot of like Narcotics Anonymous groups, AA groups, but then it was a bit, it was kind of dodgy. It was sketchy, and when we would do shows there, we would invite. So part of in LA, one of the things you would do was invite industry people to come and watch your show. So you'd watch industry people, or you'd invite industry people, hoping that like casting directors would maybe come and see you and you'd be discovered. A lot of times they didn't come. But I thought, if these people are coming to our show, and I walked into the bathroom, and I grew up on a farm, and a farm was less off-putting, like a pig farm was less off-putting than this bathroom. I would show up an hour to 2 hours early, rubber gloves, cleaner, bleach, and I would clean the entire bathroom before the show would start. And I said to the team, I will do this because I want to make sure that our guests feel like when they sit down to go to the bathroom, that they're not going to, catch something, because it was full on.
Yeah.
And I will say this: we had 2 celebrities come to. Funnily enough, Byron. I don't know if you're on here right now. Byron's mom was a lead on 30 Something, which was a popular TV series in the late 80s. And then the girl who I can't think of, she was a half sister to Dax Shepard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they came to our show, and they were lovely. We would sometimes have shows with our team, 6 people, and 6 people in the audience. So when we started doing shows in improv or in Singapore, and there were 4 people, and there were 4 of us, it felt fairly like home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm also watching what you guys are watching on my own computer right here.
Oh yeah, we were going to say questions.
Yeah. So this whole thing we're doing, we're going to do a couple of things. We're gonna teach some lessons, because Bill was talking about his sister wanting to learn. Sister's kids who want to learn some games, and so we're going to do some lessons, some quick improv games, and then we're going to also play a couple of games that we normally do live, but we're going to try it right here and see how it looks. So if anybody has a couple of things, anybody has any questions that they want to ask us, just type it in the Facebook comment section or the YouTube comment section. Wherever you see it, just type it in. We will try to keep an eye on it. I'm looking at it through here. I'm also looking at it over there. I'm also looking at it over there.
And then I could look here if anybody...
to see if anybody's got questions. And also, we might play a game later, Paper Slips. We will play a game later called Paper Slips. If you have a random line or a phrase that you like to see or have heard in a scene, just type a random line or phrase in the comment section of the Facebook thing, and then we'll try to use that phrase in the scene. But just think about it for a second. When it comes to mind, type it in the comments, and then we'll use that line. Yeah, hopefully.
So part of this was, to me, we is this urge to create something and to share and to grow, grow as a company, grow as the fact that for me over the last few years, something that I think both of us have experienced.
Yeah.
For a lot of years, funnily enough, I'm going to ask this question to Pavan.
Yeah.
So I've known you now for close to 10 years.
10 years.
What would you say the biggest thing? So when I knew you in 2010 to 2011, and we did those first shows, to Pavan, Jay Singh now.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest difference in your improv is? Or what have you learned in those? Because I feel like I've changed as a performer. I'm curious what's changed with you.
I think control is a big thing, and generosity. In that, when you first started in improv, like I've always sort of been the kind of guy who has a witty comeback. Whether it's an everyday conversation with friends or if you're roasting someone, I've always sort of had a witty comeback. And whenever we do improv, I utilize that quite a bit. Where I always try to have a witty comeback, a callback, or I always try to throw in an idea.
He's got a very, and I would say this about you, Pav, and I'm sorry to interrupt, is Pavan has a really fast brain. We do a game called Sex with Me. Is like, it's all about coming up with quick things.
Let's play it right now. Sex with Me is like. Okay. So just to demonstrate one of the games we play.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Let's maybe. Okay. I'm just gonna, because I think I have family members on kids. We're just gonna say he's witty.
So so we have a game called With Me is like. You want to catch it, we'll figure out how to play it, make it family friendly.
Yeah.
But going back to what I was trying to answer. So when we first started improv, I remember coming for rehearsals and just throwing in a barrage of suggestions. And sometimes they work, sometimes they didn't, or whatever. That's the nature of improv. But over the years, one of the things that I really learned and honed in was, you got to be generous. You've got to hold back and wait for others to jump in and contribute and give them space. Sometimes not throwing in an idea, not saying anything is the biggest gift you can give in an improv scene. Just sit back, listen, and then go with it. Don't try to constantly. So patience is something that has been the biggest difference, I think, from when we first started to now. I get into a scene, I'm a lot more patient. Whenever I'm in a scene with someone, if things aren't going the way I feel they should go, I have to acknowledge that that's my problem. Nothing wrong with the scene. And just let it sit for like a second or 2 seconds. And the next thing you know, the next person, something amazing happens. And we just go with it.
Yeah. Actually, one thing you said so Pav did a show, it was at Eat Duck. Earlier in the year, Pav did a lovely show called Eat Duck here in Singapore. What?
Eat Duck was with Checkpoint Theatre Company, written by Zenda Tan, directed by Claire Wong. Great show. Yeah,
it was really, for me being kind of like, because I'm not from Singapore, this was a life into a culture that I wasn't familiar of. It was their kind of wake, funeral process of a family, and that was kind of the story. But one thing that happened, so Pav went to do that show, and it's one of the things I love about the team is they're constantly out doing different shows, different work, but that takes them away from us, okay? And it's always like, oh, well, we'll see you. We get to play soon. Bye. We miss you. And then when they come back, now you told me one time you had an experience when after you'd been gone maybe 4 weeks, 5. Was it 4 weeks or so? And you came back to a show. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Or do I need to jog your memory more?
Jog a little bit more.
So Pav came back, and one night, it was his first night back, and he had been gone, but what he didn't realize is that Tia had been around. I had been working, so Tia, Irene, myself, had been working like consistently week after week, doing shows to 3 people, 6 people, 12, and it was growing. But so I think so I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah.
From your side.
How it felt?
How it felt.
Yeah, so after I'd come back after 3 or 4 weeks, you come back a little bit nervous. and I jumped into it. And I remember watching one of our, I would say, younger, newer members tier just flourish and perform brilliantly, and me sitting back feeling all my nerves just sort of melting away, because I realized, it didn't all have to be on me. I didn't have to come back full force, so to speak, in the sense that I didn't have to overcompensate in any way, because the rest of the team was there. They had my back, so I just could just relax and just play the game.
Because before it, when you were jumping in and almost feeling like
yeah, because you felt like the senior one. You felt like someone who was there from the beginning. So there was it wasn't something that was put upon me. I put it upon myself, that pressure. And it was great to have that time away and come back and realize, the rest of my team is just as great or better even with some things.
Yeah, and I think that night you found yourself in that old kind of habit of, I've got to control the scene. But then you realized, I don't have to. Yeah, because one of the things, and I'll remember whatever thought you're saying, one of the things with improv that I think people don't realize is a lot of times people who do it and train in it make it leads to good improv is if the improviser is relaxed, you're going to sit back and go they're going to take care of me.
Yeah.
They're going to take care of me. I don't worry for them. So
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say another incident that reminds me of is when this one time that Bill couldn't make a show because he was busy with a gig, and he's like, "Pav, can you host it?" And it was me, Tia, and Irene, and I was so nervous. I kept thinking, I was doing a bad job, but really because I had my team members behind me, they would jump up and even during intermission between scenes, they'd constantly whisper in my ear, "You're doing good. You're all right. Yeah, you're doing well. It's all good." They had to constantly assure me because they saw how nervous I was. And intermission, I thought, "Oh man, I've totally blown this. It's such a bad show. I've hosted it badly." And they're like, "No, you're okay. You're okay. You're just being nice." And then the thing is, we record all our shows. So then I get the video and I go home to edit it. And I watched it and I went okay, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. It wasn't so. In fact, all of us pulling things together, me, Tia, Irene, they really covered my behind on that one. A number of times where if I blanked, someone jumped in. And I could carry the scene forward, and if the scene needed something more, someone would say and throw in a suggestion, just sort of as though it was just a big happy crowd, three of us. There wasn't that sort of hierarchy in any way. So it was a great show.
Actually, what I love too is Pavan came up to me or we talked after. I said, "How did it go?" And he said, "Landsman." He goes, "I was so." It's one of those things where it's practice. You're going to, the more you do this, the better you get at it. But there's going to be these squeamish times. And he said afterwards, he goes, I think I left this at the venue. Yeah. I was so in this other headspace that I walked out and left the signage. So you need to call them and ask.
I left the sign here. I forgot to put the stage back. Because there's a little makeshift stage in this venue. I forgot to put it back. I forgot to pick up a bunch of stuff. I just left thinking to myself, I ruined the show. It was over. And but it wasn't. It was great.
No,
people came back the next week.
And people did come up. And we kept growing until, that's one thing that I've loved about improv is that one of the principles I always tell people is suck more. And by that, I mean, just allow yourself to be bad at something.
Yeah.
And even tonight, what we're doing right now, I feel like people have, asked me, all right, what are you going to use for camera streaming? And I feel like we could get lost in the minutia of, do we have the perfect camera? Do we have the right sound? I hope this is coming across and you can hear us. I'm trying to project. But instead of that, to me, it's I would rather jump out there, do something, make some mistakes, and then come back next week and be like, you know what we could do better? We could do this better. We could get something better for Instagram, or we could do something better for Facebook. Earlier tonight, we were solving a problem for some reason, my phone, and I will tell you this every single time, as an improv director that goes around to many theaters, there's never a night where you don't rock up, and this is for the people who maybe want to produce some stuff. There's never a night you don't rock up, something is not working. Sound, lighting. We were at a place, and they're the lovely people, so I won't necessarily name their name because I'm not bagging on them. Yeah. We get there, and I'm testing the microphone for sound. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, how's it going? Could you do it louder? They couldn't do it louder. They have this wonderful sound system, but they don't quite know how to use it. And then Irene was outside, just standing outside. She comes in and she's like, wow, I could hear you perfectly. So however the sound system was, they couldn't mic it through. They had to do it everywhere. So we were out in the lobby. We were out in the front foyer. But then it was kind of quiet inside. So I said, executive decision, we're not doing that. We don't need microphones. Yeah. So you just have to make concessions. Sometimes you don't have good lighting, and it's the same lighting everywhere, and you just have to, okay, how are we going to roll with it?
And sometimes you're really lucky, and we get a venue like this. Thank you to the Merry Lion, where the lighting is great, the setup is great, everything is great, and the drinks are excellent. I paid for it. Don't worry, Sam. I've got it.
So moving forward, so right now I think I'd like to jump up because I feel like it's a good place. So we're going to teach a very simple game. So this game is one of my favorites. When I teach, one of the things I like to do is I like repetition. Oh, we're coming in?
Come in, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Still 1 meter.
Still 1 meter. We're still there.
Yeah.
So I like to teach repetition. And because I think through repetition, what I try to think of is an 80-20 rule, kind of the Pareto's law. Even for myself in life, what I tend to do is I like to keep about 80% the same and then do about 20% learning new things. Because I feel like that's a good amount. Because if you go too much over that 20, you're overwhelmed. So you're like, oh, I've got this. Oh, now I'm learning something new. And then now the next time you've already got that new thing, and then you can learn a new thing. So you just continue to learn new things, but you do it over a slow period of time. So one of my favorite things is it's Zip Zap Zop. And this is American rules. And I call it American rules because the reason I call it American rules is because I know that there's a Zip Zap Boing, I think, in Australia.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. And there's 2 ways to play Zip Zap Zop, where there's this whole like zip, zap, and it goes one way around the circle. Totally, I'm not trying to bag on that, but what I've found is I try to keep it, I don't like competition in the arts. That's a personal thing. It might just be the way I'm wired. When it becomes a competition, to me, it's not as much fun as if it's like, I am trying to help you. I'm trying to just play. We're just playing, okay? And to me, that's what a lot of improv is. So this game is called Zip Zap Zop, and it's a very simple script. So to all the families, if you're watching this back in the States or wherever, even in Singapore, this is a game you can play with your kids. Now, it works best. You can do it with 2 people. We're going to show it with 2 people, but it works best if you have 3, 4, 5, up to about, I'd say once it gets to over 14, 15, it can become a bit, it becomes a bit cumbersome because you're watching where the zip zap is going. So the way the game goes, if I say to Pavan, zip,
Zap.
zop,
Zip.
zap,
Zop.
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 zip,
Zap.
zop,
Zip.
zap,
Zap.
zop,
Zop.
zip,
Zip.
zap,
Zap.
zop. Okay, so when it's 2 people, we were just playing a little bit. There's what you're looking for with this is the connection. You're making eye contact to a person, and this translates to a scene. If I'm not making eye contact or checking in or connecting with my scene partner, the scene's like I've been in scenes where a scene partner is, and it's not about looking. It's not that I've had a scene partner and I feel like they're connected to me, even if they're looking off. But that's a little more advanced. This is just helping you to realize that I'm being clear. I'm putting my energy to a person and I'm giving it to that person. And then I'm receiving it. And then also what I found with this game as I've done it over the years is I don't even think. I don't think zip, zap, zop. I don't think zip, zap, zop. I just hear the word, and I've done it for a long enough time. I make mistakes in it, but I've done it a long enough time that it's an impulse. The next thing comes, and I don't overthink it, right? So let's just pretend. So let's say Pav and I are going zip, zap, zop, zip, zap, zop, zop, zip, zap, zop, zop, zip, zap, zop, zip. So did you guys hear that? I double zopped him. He zopped me. I zopped him back. But instead of Pavan going, you screwed up, you screwed up, you screwed up, he just went, oh, after zop is zip. Zip, zap, zop. Zip, yeah. Is after zop is zip. So he just, yes, and maybe I didn't even realize I screwed up. Or if I did, I've had the people here who've made the mistake go, oh, I've screwed up, I've screwed up. No one knows it unless you know it, right? And I just want to say right now, just to anyone, if you have any connection problems with any of these, we're on Facebook, on Improvanopolis, on Facebook. We're on Eclectic Bison Productions on YouTube, and we're on Improvanopolis on Instagram. So if you're having connection problems, feel free to check out some of the other spaces. Go and check. So it's a place where it's not about the mistake. It's about making a mistake and then moving on. Because to an audience, what they're going to love to see is they're going to love watching you make mistakes. But what they love even more is when you roll with the punches. And that's where I've had so many times people who come up and help us with shows, help us with games, who aren't actors, aren't improvisers. They get up there and they just freeze. And then afterwards, I can't tell you how many times people have come up and said, oh my gosh, you guys make that look so like it's easy. I thought I could do it. Then I got up there and then I totally froze. So that's one of those things. And we practice this through these games. We play games that force us. So I'm going to teach you a quick tenet and we'll do this more as we do more of these if people like it. It's called Friendly Little Giant. Focus, listen, gift. What we were just doing was focusing and listening. It's a bit of both. But then there's also gifting in what we just did. And by gifting, it's being clear. So zip, zap, zop. It's coming into you. Does that make sense? So play that, try that with your family, with your group, the people that you hang out with. I think that to me is, my girlfriend is a dancer, and we talk about, I feel like, and I've taken a bit of ballet, bar work. Right. Bar work is one of those things that any ballerina, ballet, someone who's a dancer, they do bar work. And it's not crazy. It's not an insane thing, but they all talk about like it's the same thing, but it's kind of in the minutia of the thing. And I can play zip, zap, zop. I love it. I think it's bar work for improvisers.
Yeah, I agree. Everything in zip, zap, zop or variations of it, like in Singapore, we also have a version that is zip, zap, boing. And within that, we add different rules, zip, zap, boing, and a zop across, or changing the size of the circle, making it small, making it big. At the end of the day, it's just the script getting more and more complex, even though it's still simplified compared to a theater production. But what's important is achieving that specificity in your movement, in your eye contact, in the exchange of energies you're talking about, Yeah, it's a great exercise.
And it can be a lot of fun. Everybody laughs, everybody giggles. And just so I can clarify, if you have 3 or 4 people, the zip, zap, zop can go anywhere in the circle. So let's say it's Pavan and me and you. I could go zip to this person standing here. They can go zap to Pav. He can then go back to that person. Or if there's 4 or 5, it can go anywhere in the circle. As long as you repeat zip, zap, zop. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We've been getting some comments on Facebook, which is nice. Someone has shared a random phrase for us for paper slips later, so thank you very much. I'm going to write it down.
Okay, Pav is going to write that down, and I'll probably take that one because he...
But you know what I'm going to do? I don't think we have to stress ourselves too much with that, Bill.
Oh, okay.
Because once you put it in there, we don't know who's got it.
That's true.
So you don't know what it is. I kind of know what it is, but I don't know when I'll... So where's the bag? There's the
bag's
bag.
over there.
Let me go get the bag.
Yeah. Thank you guys again. I just want to see who's kind of joined here.
So we're going to be playing paper slips later. So I've got one from someone Firhar. Firhar, thanks so much for your paper slip contribution. I've got it right here.
I don't know if John Cancio, board games and improv. That's great, John. John said board games and improv. Did I go to my own personal heaven? I think John did.
Yeah.
So
do we want to play a game? Do we want to play alphabet?
Are we?
That is on our official schedule. We are supposed to play a game.
We're gonna play a game. So I'm gonna teach a game. So the way that alphabet works is, let me make sure I can be seen on all 3 of these things. So the way alphabet works, and a lot of times so I have an audience, and we warm up the audience because we get suggestions from the audience throughout a show. And as of right now, we Improvanopolis focus on a style called short form improv, kind of like Whose Line Is It Anyway, that has played in the US and the UK. So we do this short form style where every game is about 5 to 6 minutes, and it's kind of bookended, but they have they have a rule. Every game has a specific rule. So one of my favorite first kind of games, because it keeps everything it bookends it, is called Alphabet. And the way Alphabet works is there's 26 lines. Every line begins with a different letter of the alphabet, but it goes back and forth. So if I start with the line that begins with the letter A, I'm A, Pavan's B. So we'll give an example of this. Abe, you look swell.
Best we not talk about my looks, John.
Can you look in the mirror and tell me that?
Don't play any tricks on me.
Okay, so you guys get it. So it's every line, and we're making up these lines as we go along. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll get a suggestion from the audience, like where is some place you'd like to be, like where you'd like to visit when you're 80. So I don't know if anyone's live right now. You could give us the suggestion if you want to go live. Where is some place you would like to visit on a vacation when you're 80? Speaking of celebrity, what celebrity would you like to do? Oh, Matt Corbett, we have a question for later.
Yeah, okay. I've actually got 2 questions. This is great. So first, shout out to RH Hidalgo for saying she's a big fan of me. Hello, RH. Old friend of mine. Hello.
All right.
But we also have a question from Robert James asking what's our favorite game to play. So we've got 2 questions.
We'll ask those. Yeah.
We're gonna ask later. We're gonna answer later. Sorry, I'm just trying to multitask here. Being my age, it's getting harder and harder by the day. So what's our gift for Alphabet, by the way?
I was gonna see if anybody would write something.
Right.
So a place you'd like to visit when you're 80.
Oh, Robert James had a suggestion. The morgue. The morgue. Okay. I think that's right.
So we're gonna do a game called Alphabet. Bear with us. This is gonna be a unique experience. Instagram, because of distancing. You might lose me. You're gonna get to see this guy who you love. Facebook and YouTube, you're gonna get to see both of us. So this is Alphabet.
The give
is
the morgue. Thank you, Robert James. Are you new here? Are you looking for someone? Excuse me. Unless you're officially supposed to be here, this is the morgue. You're not supposed to be here.
Oh, but I see dead people.
Clearly, you'll see dead people because, as I've just said, this is the morgue.
Domino Fats. That's Domino Fats, the lounge singer.
Shh. Everybody knows Domino Fats is here, and everybody knows he's the biggest mafia around. You point out Domino Fats is. What's wrong with you?
Face. Your face, I remember it. I was on a table here. Am I dead?
Gregory Nielsen. That's how I remember you. Gregory Nielsen. You were shot by Domino Fats. You were dead.
How? When? When did this happen? I have a family.
I can't believe this. How are you standing? I did perform your autopsy. Lift up your shirt. We should see the scars.
Just look. Just look at all these scars. I've been shot. I'm dead.
Knives were used to stab you in the stomach, in the chest.
Love. What is my love doing? I've left my wife and children.
Michelle? You mean Michelle?
No, Nancy.
Oh, Nancy. Yes, she moved on.
Oh, my God. Wow, but I don't feel anything.
Please, I don't know what to do about this. You are literally walking dead. You have got to get out of here. I'm going to get in trouble. I performed an autopsy of you. Domino Fats tried to get you killed. If you're still standing around.
Quiet. Are all of these filled with people?
Really? Are you going to ask me that? We're a morgue. Of course they're all filled with people, you idiot.
Samsonite. It's a key. That opens a safe with money in it. It's for you.
Tell me, were you really dead when I performed that autopsy of you? Or was this some kind of trick for you to escape your bind with Domino Fats? And is this a bribe?
Yeah, it's a bribe. It's a bribe.
Very well, I'm okay with that. I've been stuck in this dead end job, no pun intended, for a long time. I've just been waiting for a way to get out of this. So where is this luggage? What is it open?
Well, if you would go to the bus stop at 33rd and Main.
Xavier Street? The bus stop on Xavier Street?
Yes.
Zounds!
Okay. That's it. So
I can never get the Z.
that was good, though, Xavier Street. So you guys see that, okay, I will say, doing it in front of a camera
With no laughter.
with no audience,
It feels really weird.
and kind of like a stifled amount of space, it adds another element to it. It makes the brain think. So, but that's the gist of the game. You continue the story, trying to always start the first letter of the first word of your phrase in the next consecutive letter. It's fairly basic.
We should answer these questions now.
Okay.
So, one question we had came from Robert James. The first question, which is, what is our favorite game to play? What's your favorite game to play, Bill?
You know what? Favorite game to play? I think.
You know what's my favorite game?
Well, Pav,
I'll answer this first. So my favorite game is any kind of game where it starts with a physical frozen, like freeze or remote control. So how that game goes is we start a scene and then someone else freeze, and whatever position this is, we have to now think of a scene to start. So I could go like, "Aya!" And that's how we karate. And then someone else carries on. And if somebody goes like this and we go freeze, then I have to come up with something else like
your hair is flowing.
oh, the wind is so strong. Just feel that breeze.
Right.
That's my favorite game.
Yeah. I would say one of my favorite games, it kind of changes because one of my all-time favorite, because I just think it's a really fun game, is Paper Slips. It's such a fun one because what I think is fun about it, especially in short form, is it really cranks up your yes and what it does, it involves the audience because they've written out these little paper slips.
Yep.
And they love to hear when they hear their comment, it's like, oh, that was mine. And to me, that's what I think is fun about live improv theater. Because I love movies. I love going to movies, and movies are a genre they're made to watch on a big screen. But improv theater, what is amazing about it is it's you can't. And what I'm also a little bit, even with doing like live stuff on a camera live stream, it's a different medium. So I don't know. There's something palpable about watching somebody sweat.
Yeah.
And feeling their pain, but then you're loving that. So I would say Paper Slips, but recently 2 games that were introduced to me, Seen by Numbers started off. I didn't think it was that great of a fun of a game. Lately, it is just a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
People love it. Yeah.
If anybody has a game request that we know of, we could look at it.
Yeah,
we recognize, we'll play.
Yeah,
2 people
for sure. But also, we do have one more game. I wanted to teach one more kind of like.
What are you doing?
One more game at some point, but do we want to answer the other question?
Yeah, of course. Well, the other question was from Instagram Live.
Instagram Live, we have a guy named, what is this guy? Matthew Corbett. Speaking of celebrities, what would you like to do? What celebrity would you like to improv with? Why?
Oh, I'd love to answer that one.
Go for it, please.
Yeah, my favorite celebrity to want to improv with was the late Robin Williams.
Oh yeah.
Because I've always been a big fan of Robin Williams. Just his energy, trying to keep up with that energy, I think would have been a challenge. And I remember watching one episode of the amazing Whose Line Is It Anyway, where Robin Williams was on as a guest, and it was Ryan Stiles, Colin Mockley, and Wayne Brady, and Robin Williams, and it was just out of this world. And I just thought, what a gift, what a great. I've always been a fan of Whose Line Is It Anyway. It's it's the benchmark, it's the bar, and to have someone like Robin Williams on it was just amazing.
Because he was, what people don't realize, and this is, I'm going to kind of throw this out there as being director of Improvanopolis right now. I have a team of people who have varying everyone comes to the table with a different like gift. And the one thing again, going back to what Pav thinks quickly. Robin Williams.
Oh,
My goodness.
His thoughts are faster than anything that he can. He himself is incapable. You could see Robin Williams
catch up with himself.
Exactly. Like his thoughts have already gone to the next act, whereas his mouth and his physicality is still rushing towards it. It's amazing.
Because what I feel like one of the things I do quickly is I don't feel like I think quickly. I feel like I have quick emotions. My emotions can change quickly, and so sometimes that. But I feel like with Robin Williams, he had both. He thought quick and his. So it was almost like who's leading who.
Yeah,
he was amazing. So I have a funny, kind of a funny story with Improvanopolis and Robin Williams.
No way.
I don't think I ever told you. So I left Singapore, LA, came to Singapore. A few years, I think, after I'd been gone, one of the gals that I worked with, Rhoda, if you're on here, I hope you are, one of the funniest ladies I know, Rhoda, she stayed in LA, continued to do improv in LA, and one day, the new group that you're part of, one day, out of the blue, a guy rocks up, and it's Robin Williams.
That's incredible.
In like the Groundlings or wherever, I forget if it was UCB or the Groundlings. He said, "Do you guys mind if I jump in and perform with you?" And she got to do just this random set with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
She said it was the funniest thing and one of the best.
That's awesome.
She was like beside herself, thinking, "I can't believe he just showed up randomly." And it was a random night.
Yeah.
They were doing shows. He goes, "Mind if I just jump in with you?"
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
But you have to tell us what's your favorite celebrity now to do.
Oh, I think I have a big place for comedy and this style of comedy. I think I would have. It's two people. I really love Will Ferrell. I think he's
righteous choice.
And there was about 5 celebrities I'd love to meet, and Will Ferrell was one of them. And early on in my career, back in 2007, I did a show at South Coast Repertory, doing a stage show, and 2005. And Will Ferrell's it's like a half sisters. His half sister was in the show, and he was backstage one day.
Oh,
at the show, and I got to say hello, and I got to say, "I really enjoy your work." Because when I think about what he does, and I know some people don't like his comedy, but what I love about Will Ferrell is, to me, he's like a pyramid. He can go to this extreme place, but it's full, because he fills characters from the bottom up. So it doesn't feel like he's just pushing. It feels grounded in truth.
Yeah.
That's my take. Anchorman, if my sister Mary is watching, the two of us absolutely love that movie.
Yeah. Awesome.
And he started out in improv, I think the Groundlings, and then he was on Saturday Night Live. He would definitely have been somebody. Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine Bill Murray would be a real challenge to be with in an improv thing. Not because of anything about him personally. I just think that he's so good.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he'd be the kind of person who would just floor you with a suggestion or a gift. He would give you something that you yourself wouldn't be able to carry. It'd be such an amazing gift, and you're like, how can I make this even, contribute to this? It would be incredible. Yeah.
Funnily enough, I just realized the two people I suggested were named Will and Bill. And
nothing insidious there.
nothing
at all.
But people call me Bill, Billy, William. Rhoda still calls me Will.
I call you Landsman.
He calls me Landsman.
You're the only one I know.
Yeah. So what's next?
Robbie had just commented Paul Rudd or Jim Carrey for different reasons. I'm not sure if Robbie is also contributing as saying that Paul Rudd and Jim Carrey are his favorite, or is he asking us what do we feel about Paul Rudd and Jim Carrey? So Bill's just gone off because there's a little thing there's a little problem with the Instagram live feed.
It just ends at a certain amount of time.
Yeah. It'll be so if you're following us on Instagram, just hold on a second. We'll be right back. In the meantime, I'll answer this question. So Paul Rudd and Jim Carrey. I'm okay with Paul Rudd. I think he's really a funny guy. But Jim Carrey is another one of those actors that I think is just amazing. I've seen some of his improv audition pieces he did. He did his impressions, his physical impressions are just out of this world. I recently saw his this documentary about him playing Andy Kaufman. What's the name of the documentary? It's really great. It's amazing. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is on Netflix, but it was about him playing Andy Kaufman in the movie Man on the Moon, which earned him the Golden Globe. He himself, I used to watch Jim Carrey from when he was in Living Color. So that was way since the 80s, and I've seen him now. I think he's a tremendous actor and just a great comedian, and so grounded in the truth in a lot of things, his performance and all that.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, definitely. Growing that beard.
That beard, something else. Him and Letterman. I don't know.
I know. I
Him and
thought that
Letterman.
was
I don't know what
funny.
that's going on.
It seems like it's like you do that. It's like the beard types. So where are we at?
Well, we did say, so we've answered the questions.
Where are we at on time, by the way? Let's do a time check.
At the moment we're 9 o'clock, so that's an hour.
Wow, we've done an hour.
Yeah. So you want to play another game? Teach another lesson?
I want to teach another thing. Okay, so hopefully, let me just see if Instagram is back up.
So, Firhar had a suggestion for a game, a TV dubbing game. Only problem is I'm not sure if it's the same one we're thinking about, because what I'm thinking about is actually a little complicated to play, where we play a scene or we watch something and someone else dubs what's happening. I tell you what, I think, Bill, what we'll do is we'll note that down, and then maybe the next time we do this, we'll try to play this TV dubbing game.
Okay.
Firhar,
okay, we're back on an Instagram.
I love this. Firhar and Robert James are now talking to each other. So,
good.
On our comment section. Yes, please carry on. Don't worry about it. We'll be here. We'll keep the platform open. Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
I wanted to message. While we're doing this, guys, we're just taking a quick. Let me just message. Let's see.
If you just joined us, welcome to Improvanopolis Live. We're just having a bit of a chat. Bill Landsman and I. You might be asking, where is Bill Landsman? Well, he is right here. There he is.
So I want to teach a game. This is another one that I like. So I have like 3, because over the years when I first started doing improv, I was taught a method or taught kind of a style, and then I met other people at different things, kind of gleaned things from here, took things from clowning. I ended up getting a degree a master's degree in classical acting, so Shakespeare. I feel like I've pulled in like different things from different areas.
He's not showing off.
I'm not showing off. Not at all. But what I started to watch is when we first started, like Pav and I, I think that's when it really started to happen, is we would sit down and a game would finish and we'd say, why did that work? Because I remember thinking to myself, sometimes we'd get up and do a scene, 2 people, and it wouldn't work. And then 2 more people would get up and it would work. And I remember thinking, like, why did that scene work and why didn't that scene work? And that's something that to me was fascinating. Why? Always asking the question why. So what I started to notice was I started to simplify the way that my philosophy of improv kind of went down to the number one thing, which is yes and. Everybody, it's yes anding things. So if I say, Pavan, you have a lovely mullet.
Oh, thanks so much. It only took me 4 weeks to grow.
So he's yes-anding the fact that I've given him a mullet, and he's telling me how long it took to grow. But he could also say, yes, and I dyed it blonde, just like the Tiger King, if that's, if he wanted to say that.
Yeah.
So then you could talk about. So that's
pop reference there. Good pop reference.
Good pop reference. So yes anding is like the main thing. Then there's a lot of, everybody there's some people have 10 rules, some people have this. My thing is, I love to go back to, there was a book I read about improv, and one of the things was dare to be mundane. Sometimes I think people think that, I've got to be like crazy. You can be crazy. That's the beauty of imagination, but you can also be mundane and just live in the realm of relationships, what people are doing on a daily basis. So in the last few weeks before we were kind of shut down with COVID-19, a lot of topics that came up were COVID-19. We started to do scenes that were kind of based on that, what people were experiencing. Yeah. And people would usually laugh when it was, that's funny because it's true. It's funny because, I've experienced that too. So I bring a lot of myself to my improv. So the other thing that I say is suck more, because you got to get that thing out of your head where you have to be perfect. If you're gonna try and be perfect, improv isn't gonna be the thing, because you're going more, giving that safe space to do that. And then what I always tell people: focus, listen, gift, friendly little giant. That's it. To me, then you just play games, and if you relate back to those things, yes and, suck more, focus, listen, gift. Because if you come into a scene and you're not focused, you're not going to listen. If you're not listening, you're not going to gift. But if you can come into a scene and train your brain to focus on what's happening, you'll focus. Then you can say, okay, now that I'm focused, now I'm listening to my scene partner, which in and of itself is a gift already. If you really listen to your scene partner, you're gifting yourself and you're gifting them. Because if I listen to what he says, he's going to say something that I can then react to. And then he can then react to me and react. And that's like ladder giving. And when I say gifting, what that is, gifting can be making strong choices. Gifting can be getting out of your partner's way and letting them kind of run the scene. But then when they have nothing, you're stepping in and giving them something. So that gifting can be quite a broad thing. Cool. Yeah. So here's a game. We're going to just stand side by side. This is a game. So we're going to get a rhythm going. So with this, all you're doing is rhythm. Getting a kind of a concentration, keep in rhythm, all in rhythm, concentration, now begin. That was the thing we used to say when I was a kid, but that's not this. So now with this game, what I do is I'm going to say a word by the last snap. So if my word is hand. So now Pavan is going to say a word that begins with the last letter of the word I just said. So I'm going to do that again. Hand.
Damp.
So now I have to do a word by that snap that I just missed with the letter P, because he said damp. So pummel.
Love.
Large.
Evoke.
Christmas tree with a K.
Enter.
Really?
Yes.
Soft.
Total.
Lion.
Naughty.
Okay, good. So there was a few, I made a mistake with my spelling, because I think, what was it?
Evoke. And you went Christmas tree, which is 2 words, starts with a K, and evoke ends with the E. So there's 3 mistakes in one.
Three mistakes in one.
Keep going.
We just kept going. We had a little bit of a laugh. It made me laugh. It made him laugh. And hopefully it maybe made you chuckle. But then we kept going. Now, that in and of itself, so if you have 4 people in a circle, you just go around the circle. Usually I do kind of like to the right, And then after a while, after you get really good at that, you can add. The next time if we do these videos, we'll add kind of a caveat to that. So
Also,
that's
the next time we do these videos, there's a bunch of games people. This is really interesting. A couple of suggestions. Somebody would like us to play the Return to Sender game.
Oh, that's a
great fun game. We can play. Well, maybe the next time, or if you want to do it now.
We could do it. I mean, if somebody wants to see it, we could try. Who do you want to? Do you want to be the?
No, I'll be the person.
Because you've seen it.
Yes, I'll be the person guessing it. But what we'll need a suggestion for is an item, right?
I thought they did the item.
They haven't.
So could somebody give him an item, and then I'm going to come in.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he's going to be the.
No, I'll be the guesser. You explain the game.
Okay. And then you want me to.
I'll go out, and then you.
Or you just step over there.
And then you try. You try it.
So Return to Sender. Let's see. Okay, Return to Sender. Return to Sender.
Hey, loud shout out. I'll come in.
So who do we got? So if anyone out there who's watching could just type in an item. It could be a fork. It could be a spoon. It could be any item that Pavan's going to come and return to me, and I can't say what it is. I have to give clues, and he has to guess it. So any suggestions? Something specific. Let's see. Okay. I've got one. I'm gonna go with. So you guys know what it is. He's plugging his ears. It's hairbrush. It's a hairbrush. Okay. So I'm gonna wave so he sees me. So Pavan's coming back in.
Okay. Ready.
Oh, hello.
Hi, I just want to return this thing.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work?
At all.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it this or is it you?
Are you going to blame me for this item which I purchased not working? Come on, man.
But I've never. Why would you buy such a big one?
Well, because my needs as immense as the size of this item.
You have a lot of cuticle needs.
I do have cuticle needs.
No. And by that I mean keratin needs.
Keratin. Yes, I do have keratin needs. Yes. That's how much of this I use.
So how did you break it? What were you doing with it when you broke it?
Well, what I was doing was I was pouring it all over my head.
Okay.
Yeah, and and also on my nails because of my cuticle needs. But I would pour it all over my head.
So you melted it first? Did you heat it up?
Wasn't I supposed to?
I mean, supposed to, not supposed to. It's probably, what country are we in right now? I'm going to just say we're in America. You can do it however you want.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do what you want, man.
But I wasn't supposed to do that.
Not really, no. It's best, it works best when it's hard.
I see.
And
that's what she said.
And a lot of spikes and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So then so you poured it all over your head, which is close to where it should be.
Right.
Which is good.
But it should have stayed in a spiky form.
Yeah, it should have, fixed what you have.
I see. Well, that clearly was the problem because I don't have a lot of it.
No, you don't.
Yes, but you see, that's not what I got it for. I may not have a lot of hair here, but you understand, I wanted something to keep my manscaping cleaner.
Oh, okay.
Right. So this comb that I got,
gigantic
comb, right? which is now melted.
Just that must have been why it was in this shape.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you have like 50 of them and a few hairbrushes in here?
No. Just that one large hairbrush.
Okay, one large hairbrush. And see.
Was it a hairbrush?
It was a hairbrush. It was a hairbrush.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys get the point of that is it's a bit of fun when this person comes in with, like, he came in distinctly holding something here, and then that gave me the response and the reaction, I've never seen one that big. And then that gave him, that's what.
So it was again. So I came in with the gift of deciding that whatever I was bringing in was going to be this big. I don't know what he was. It could have been. It was a hairbrush, but it could have been small. It could have been a car. But I just decided bring in something that you can play off of and I can play off of and all that. Yeah.
And then within that, it kind of becomes the, I made the mistake with the cuticle. I meant keratin, like the protein that's in fingernails and hair. But then he kind of picked up on that, and I was like, well, no, that's not what I mean. And then we made the joke of, what, can't I do that? And I was like, well, we can, since we're in America. You can do whatever you want. It's kind of a joke within a stereotype, right? Oh, I got you guys. Next time. Thank you, Rachel Dursky, hey babe, thank you for the for hairbrush. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So where are we at? So
we were gonna do what are you doing in paper slips, but we are now an hour and a half in.
I feel like, are we an hour and a half in? Because
no, it's 9:18 now. We started
9:18. So
it's
we're
an hour and 20 minutes.
Actually, I think what we should do is we should wind down.
Yeah.
I think we will do a round of
paper slips because
people have submitted some paper slips. Pav and I are going to do an example. Let me just check this. Pav and I are going to do an example of paper slips. Just check one thing here.
By example, you mean we're just going to play the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how paper slips goes is we get a suggestion from someone about, I don't know, location or whatever you like. Actually, if I go up the comment section here, RH Hidalgo had a suggestion from a previous game we played. She said, home for the aged. If you want to use that suggestion.
Home for the aged.
Yeah.
So Pav has, we have some paper slips. These were written by, I couldn't see any of these. Can you give me one of the, let's make sure that we get one of the new ones.
I think we've got one.
So these are written by someone, not me or him. So we've never seen these paper slips. Usually when we do this game in a show, the audience comes in and then we ask them to give us these paper slips. So this is a great game for you guys to do at home. If this would be so much fun. Obviously, the kids, if you're going to do it with kids at home, they need to be a reading age, or maybe you could do designs or whatever. But to be honest, it's probably going to be a bit of a just very random if you're just starting out. But so we put these in our pockets. And what was our
home? Our suggestion from RH Hidalgo was home for the aged.
So home for, like an old
folks home.
Old folks.
Yes, right.
So old folks home. So Pav and I, and I'm going to just add this caveat. One of the things I like to do in scenes is we kind of live in a world, in our own world, and we come together. Now, as the scene progresses, we're going to reach into our pocket and we're going to pull these pieces of paper out, and we have to say them to each other in the context of the scene and then justify them. So it's a form of, Carl, why are you out of your bedroom?
Who are you again?
Carl, what are you?
Jimmy?
No.
Is that you, Jimmy?
I'm James. No, don't touch me in the face. I don't like it when you touch my beard.
Jimmy.
It's James.
James.
Carl, the doctor said, let's watch Netflix and chill. Not me. He said you.
I should watch some Netflix and chill.
Yes, but the old-fashioned way, not the newer age way.
Actually chill, because I heard that snicker. I heard him snicker when he went, you should watch some Netflix. He knows I can't do the chill part, so I'll just go watch some Netflix.
But did you take the bedpan?
I did not take. Maybe I took the bedpan, but I needed the bedpan.
Carl.
I needed the bed. It wasn't for me, James. It was for Margaret in room 6.
Okay.
She was saying to me, "C'est la vie."
She's French.
C'est la vie. Yes,
She is.
You know, after she wet herself, and I said to her, "Oh no, you must be so uncomfortable." She's like, "C'est la vie. C'est la vie. If you're gonna wet yourself, c'est la vie. Such is life." You know?
That's what I love about. I want to travel to France, to Paris someday, and I told my girlfriend that I said, in Switzerland, it's illegal to just own one guinea pig.
Oh,
that's why I'm never going to Switzerland.
No, that's fair.
Because when I travel with 3.
Yeah.
3 guinea pigs. That's the only way I travel.
They changed that law after the war. You know, during my time, I went with as many guinea pigs as I liked, and then you know, I was right there in the thick of it. And then they were like, no more guinea pigs. I'm not sure why. I think the guinea pigs were a little bit suspicious.
Yeah.
People mistook them for grenades, and they just went, and it was slaughter. It was terrible.
That is terrible. Come on in, Gertrude. Just go on by.
Gertrude, we're off to see the wizard. Later.
It's okay, Gertrude.
No, she knows what I mean. We're gonna go see.
Oh, you're Netflixing and chilling with her?
Yeah. We're both.
Oh, that's the old. Oh, I get it.
We're gonna go see the wizard.
I'm off to see the wizard. It's the old Netflix and chill.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Exactly.
You know what?
She knows what I mean. Yeah.
The Wizard of Oz reminds me of my dad. And my dad, he was in the Wizard of Oz.
No.
Yeah, he was one of the trees. He was one of the little the trees, and the director said to him one day, because his acting wasn't very good, he said, wah wah wee wah. He had because the tree was covering his ears, everything sounded like
Right.
You know, when you cover your ears?
Yeah.
So he doesn't know. The guy could have been saying, "You're great, Jerome."
But he's like, well, I know how that feels, because as soon as I wake up, you know, I'm 80 years old. When I wake up in the morning, all I hear is wow, wow, wee, wow, wow, wow.
Well, then you got to turn your ear.
You're gonna turn on the thing, and you know, man, you just gotta let your ears wake up, because sometimes even your ears don't wake up. You know?
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you, my friend. You know what else I feel?
But tell me.
I feel gluten-free, please.
You're getting to my age.
I am. I start to get this.
Yeah. Everything for me has to be gluten-free, please.
Dairy-free, taste-free.
Yeah, because if it doesn't show up gluten-free, dairy-free, taste-free, then hey, it's 1.5 meters distance, ma'am. That's how far I have to be from the toilet, because if I don't get my stuff dairy-free and gluten-free, that splash, that splatter, it's a 1.5 meter radius, no joke.
You're the one, Carl. I've been cleaning up after you all day then.
Well, you keep hogging the bedpans.
I'm not hogging.
Margaret keeps hogging the deadpans.
The deadpans?
The bedpans.
Don't say deadpans in front of Margaret. She's gonna get all weird, and she's gonna say,
"C'est la vie."
She's gonna say, "What's the eye?
What's the eye?
What's the eye?"
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
When they've really lost their mind.
When they've lost it.
What's the eye? Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Oh, man.
Well, Carl, you better get back to bed. It's 3 in the morning.
It is 3 in the morning. You know, it's so hard to sleep at night. But whenever I have trouble, you know what my mom always says to me? She used to say to me, almond butter. Almond butter. So before I get to bed, I'm going to get me some almond butter.
Okay.
I'm going to have a little snack, and then I'm off.
See
it, James.
Here's the bedpan. Let's see. Okay, so that's paper slips. You're trying to justify what you're doing with the paper slips, trying to work them in a way that makes sense. I will say, commenting to Pav on this, trying to do improv in front of a non-live audience, it's different. It's a bit, it harkens to, you know, you have to kind of think of where is my eye line? Because as an actor, you're thinking about multiple, you're always trying to think of where's my audience, projecting, putting that stuff out there, and I think we're always a little conscious of where's the shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's a learning thing.
It's a learning
Hope
curve.
you enjoyed it.
I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Again, I think 3 things. Wherever you're at, the States, London, England. We have friends in South Africa. We have friends in Australia.
The Philippines.
The Philippines.
Malaysia. Indonesia.
I mean,
Thailand. Everywhere.
Canada.
Yeah.
Hawaii. It's like as you do this industry and you're around, we're going to try and do this more often.
Yeah.
I had fun with this. I really, it's not the same. It's different than doing a show, but this was quite fun. I really enjoyed it. And we're in a time. Go ahead.
I was going to say, please feel free to send us a message. So this is a long time. Please feel free, for those of you watching, send us a message on how you think we can improve. If you thought certain segments could be longer, certain segments could be shorter, give us some feedback. We'd love to hear it because we want to make you laugh. Yeah, we want to make you laugh. We want to entertain you in these tough times, and this is the only way we can do it at the moment online. So let us know.
And we're also, to me, I'm really interested in this idea of giving back or teaching. What value can we add to a community? And I think this could be fun for people to try if you're bored at home. So feel free to like us. We just changed our name on Facebook to just Improvanopolis. It used to be Improv to take from Singapore, but because we're Improvanopolis here, and now in the last week I really thought we're moving. I've always felt this global feel, but in the last few weeks I really felt like this could be open to anyone.
Yeah.
Wherever. Then we have follow us on Instagram. We have. And that's also Improvanopolis. And for YouTube, it's on Eclectic Bison Productions. Search for that. If you're already on it, cool. If not, you can search for it. And what else?
Well, if you're on LinkedIn, also Eclectic Bison Productions Private Limited.
Yep.
So hook us up. Hook up with us.
What? Yeah.
Join us on LinkedIn.
Hook up with us.
Yeah. I don't know what the official term is.
So thank you guys. We're gonna scoot out here. It's been, we were thinking if we were going to only go for 45 minutes. We were originally planning an hour and a half, which we're kind of hitting.
Yeah. We've hit it, yeah.
We've hit it. So thank you so much. Miss you guys. There's so many I can just picture and hopefully, in my mind, I like to think that you're watching. So take care.
Take it easy.
And we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, signing off.
Signing off.
This is off. This is off, Landsman. This is off.
It's off.
This is off.